before we start, I would like to ask you guys for a speaking order, starting from the proposition, SMK plus Penus. For the first speaker, name? Hisham Chen. Second speaker?
Muhammad Khan.
That makes Alan Timothy Target. Reply? Between first and second speaker only. He can.
Yeah, he can.
Okay, thank you. Proposition. Now move to opposition. So you're going to speak first. So Corin. Second? Okay. One berarti tanggal, right?
Yes.
For the reply? Okay, cool. Make sure everyone can see. I don't want to lose it. Alright, before we start, see housekeeping rules. I will forget that certain speeches for 8 minutes, maximum for 20 seconds, with 4 minutes for the speeches. Another reminder, not going to bring POI, and yeah, make sure that when you guys bring POI or accept POI, it's not a conversation, it is one way of instructions, so do not make a conversation inside the POI. Yeah. The budget, keep it civilized and respect other POI preferences. Keep your timer also. I will not show you the timer, but I will give you a sign of bell when the POI is open and the POI is closed. Alright, without further ado, under the motion, that the assumption of inflation is going to be some perceptions. First affirmative, here.
So I would like to start my statement in 1, 2, 3. Okay, good morning to the honorable judges, to all the audience, and my beloved friend from the opposition team. So, I as the first speaker of the government side will talk about our motions today, that this House believes education system should overinflate children's academic self-perceptions, providing overwhelmingly positive feedback or giving any low or not positive feedback, not giving any low or falling grades, etc. Okay, so talking about overinflate children's academic self-perceptions, we should know that every student has different learning systems. Some students learn more slowly, but that does not mean they are incapable. Schools should have students with tutoring, counseling, or different teaching methods. Instead of forcing them to repeat a year or maybe giving them a falling grade, all because they can do some subjects. So we have the data to back up this statement. According to UNESCO, they promote inclusive education, which emphasizes adapting teaching methods to students' need rather than excluding or retaining learners. We're talking about teachers providing overwhelmingly positive feedback, not giving any low falling grades. What does that mean? I mean, if you're telling about students who always being praised by teachers, you think that maybe getting praised every time is not good for students. But getting praise and getting advice is a whole entirely different thing. Getting advice by teacher means that you should learn about manners or something that you should listen to what the teacher said. Not by getting praise means that you with the teacher being focused on adapting to their to what the students are talented in, or adapting to teaching methods that the students could understand more than having to do subjects and failing because of that. But the students itself have a talent in something else. So by providing overwhelming positive feedback and not giving any grades, can increasingly their academic, instead of making them falling behind of students who are maybe good at subjects and things
even if we implement, even if we implement this at school. School may give you kindness, it may give you overwhelmingly positive feedback, it might not even give you any bad grades, but is the real world going to treat you like that? Now, when you are applying for a job, your boss isn't going to affirm you 24/7. But if you are trained from school to take affirmations, to take positive feedback only, to not get failing grades or to not be scolded, then isn't that just wrecking yourself when you reach the real world? When you reach the real world, in this state, there's a lot of cases where children grow up in permissive parenting houses or permissive education system, and they ended up having a mental breakdown because they can see the real world truly. This also works as an affirmation of your self-worth. Like I said, what if the real world treats you unfairly? Let's say in school, the teachers give you their true perspective, true grades. Now, when you do this, now you know your self-worth. So when you're being treated unfairly by your co-workers, or if you're going to university by other college, by other scholars, now you know the real worth of yourself. You won't take what they're saying to you, because now you know, oh, I don't deserve this. I know my worth. I know what I need for myself, and I know where I am placed. I am stated in this world. Of course, consequences go more further than to yourself. Imagine if a student has been affirmed for years and years and years, and he turns out to be a doctor. Let's say when he's in school, when he's in university, the teachers just affirm whatever he's doing. Just gives him good grades. When he goes into a doctor, but with the wrong calculations and the wrong methods, won't that endanger other people too? This doesn't only implement in doctors, it can go to architects, it can go to social workers, it can go to many more job opportunities. And it doesn't only affect themselves, but the people around them. This is why our solution to this is constructive criticism. Now, you may have heard of this, but constructive criticism is where people tell you the truth of what you need to do better so you can improve. But maybe you can also hear some cases where constructive criticism is used for the wrong thing, like it being used for unfair treatment. Now, this is where my statement of knowing your self-worth comes in. When you receive unfair constructive criticism, now you know your self-worth, you know where you're placed. So, that is why my team strongly denies the use of overinflate children's self-worth. That is all for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. To continue the basis from our question science and SMK, the resource.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad as the second speaker of the proposition team. First of all, we agree because we believe that students are share the same. We agree because we believe that students don't all share the same traits and skills. Of course, they all could be good and different at different things. Like maybe you and me. I was good at English and you're good at mathematics, and that's all right because so many people are unique and we have our own traits, of course. And the motion talking about this house believes that education system should over-inflate children's academic self-perception, example as providing overwhelming and positive feedback, not giving any low or falling grades and service. So, first of all, I want to ask you as your team, would you define what positive feedback is from your point on this context is? them like on and on. It doesn't mean you're praising them again and again and again until they don't realize their fault. Positive feedback means that positive feedback means it's tolerating their behavior. Not is positive feedback is not tolerating their bad behavior, but instead accepting that all students have their own traits when it comes to learning. So instead of scolding them again and again, which only makes them even more lazy to do it, like as my colleague said, why should I even do this at the first place? Even if we raise our voice at our students, would that just create fear? It just created fear rather than just giving them advice, not giving them advice not to do something. Eventually, that would lead the student to care more about how to get good grades in any way, in any sort of way, instead of learning it them by themselves, which that requires to be positive feedback, of course, because if you always get scolded, you just want to get it over with in the end. So that's how most of the students think. So take example as me. I was failing at math class, and then when the teachers scolded me, I was like, let's just get this over with, and so I just cheered off my friends. But when the teachers actually giving me a positive feedback, I would eventually, oh, thank you. I would try to correct my own way to do this, and then that's what positive feedback is. It's not praising them over and over again, but instead giving them a way to learn, of course. And then students are individuals, persons, and humans. Do you even care about the students about mental health? If you kept on scolding them on and on, they would just eventually get bored of it, and then eventually they even go sad, mad, or even straight to depression, of course. So students are a human with feelings and emotions, not just a robot with a grade system. So students wasn't just numbers or even grades. And positive feedbacks actually stimulate the brain in increasing of the dopamine. So what is dopamine? Dopamine is the part in our brain where it controls our emotions, where it goes like fun and in learning. So that's why they're really affecting us. And that's all for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to the honorable educators, to my honorable opponents, and to my own teammates. I am here. My name is Gabriel, and I am here as the second speaker. With the motion being discussed with the education system, so our source from this to the first, I would like to start my argument by saying that student, if we were to put this motion, student might think that their grades are enough, because if we were to solve, if we were to start showing their actual grades, by showing their actual grade, we can help this to put the subject area. But if we were to hack their grade by giving them not failing grade, like you could say, as an example, if you were to be failing mathematics, but your teachers put that your grades are not failing on your mathematics, you wouldn't know. Students wouldn't know that they are actually lacking in this one subject, or even not only in mathematics, in all other subjects. That they might be lacking at. Now, this may, just like my first speaker has mentioned, this may not impact students at the moment in school, but the impact on the futures are very significant. It is very big because what they learn in school, they will think what they learn in school is enough and will be used in the future. But they didn't know that there's actually some more things that they should understand and are needed in the future, because when they see that they will think, okay, I did this good grade, then I'm not. I can just do the future. I'm ready for the future. But ours is this. When they reach the future, they will be devastated, because when they realize that the one they're working at will be not as simple as it is in school. And now, I would like to also read. I would like to rebut the first speaker of the proposition team. You stated that students are humans with feelings and not robots. And yes, we do understand that very much. First, I would like to say this first. We do not reject positive feedback on students, but instead we reject giving overwhelming positive feedback to certain emotions. We are not saying that we don't care about student mental health or calling them robot, where they should just do their job about everything, because of course they will fail. And because they fail, that's why we are stating that we shouldn't spoil the student too much, so that they can keep their mental health steady in the future. So by giving them their actual grade, by showing their actual work when they are in school, we can help them to be better in the future and help them to keep their mental more ready in the future, not only at school. Now, we need to let children know when they have crossed the line, so that they didn't go to, so they are not too far gone. Now, I get this metaphor that I want to tell you. The metaphor goes: your parents love you. Your parents love you very much. But if you decide to do something that gets you in jail, it doesn't matter how much your parents love you or not, you are still in jail. Because of that, we must teach children. We must not hide their works and show them where they have gone wrong, so that they can improve it, or so that we can also help them improve it, so that this type of metaphor doesn't happen to them in their life. Because of course your parent will support you, and that is good. But as a parent, you must also educate your children and help them to know that they did something wrong and they need to fix it. And because of that, on the conclusion, I want to, on the conclusion of all this, you should know that we are not saying that students are robots, and that we think about their mental health, and that we do not reject positive feedback on students and just saying that we should spoil them. And because of all these reasons, I am here as the opposition team standing here to present this. Thank you so much for listening.
Since this motion also brings up the fact that besides the positive feedback, we also support that the education system should remove any the education system should remove any low or failing rates as well. And for that, we have agreed.
fake grade. Maybe for now, the interruption will not happen. The mental health for the student will be safe. But what if we do it for the full time? Someday, the world will not hold it anymore. And then a huge, very good explosion will happen. We need to underline that we not obligate students to be good at every subject. But that's the point. Imagine a student want to become an engineer, but in reality, his grades are not good enough. His math, his physics is not good enough. But somehow the teacher give a feedback, give a fake grade. This will make the student have a stop for being an engineer. But what if in the selection he failed because his grade is fake? It's not we crush the grade in front of the we believe that we need to prepare the mental student for real world. A company will never give us this grade. If we make a mistake in company, we will get exposed or maybe we will get fired. That's why we need to prepare the mental from student. And we believe we must let the parents know that their children are good enough, so they can help their children to be better. And imagine the teacher told the parent that your son is great, what will you do? Okay, maybe the parent will give a course to him, or maybe they will study together. It all can help a better future for the student. And as you know, in Indonesia there are selection tests called TKA. TKA have a purpose to validate the grade. What if a student have a really good grade, but in TKA he cannot reach a high their report card? It will make a very, very disappointed moment. There was definitely so for their future. We say this may not impact the student at the moment, this time, but this is will impact for their future significantly. And we believe this can cause a scam. Like imagine a civil engineer graduate with high grade, with very good grade, but when he have a job to like design his bridge, but he cannot do it because his grade is fake. What will happen? The better moment is when the civil engineer get fired. But what if the civil engineer keep building the bridge and then cause of mistake, cause of tragedy can cause victim, like the bridge fall apart because he doesn't know what is the formula to hold this bridge or something like that. And yeah, we also need to let the children know about their real grades so they can improve by themselves. And that's why we believe that we need to know every student, every parent
Today we have reached the end of our debate and I am now have entered the reply speeches. I am Gabriel Penus here standing as the reply speaker who was previously the second speaker. Now, I would like to ask a simple question to us all. Should we lie to students regarding their grades and works? Or should we give them the truth to help them improve even more in the coming future? I suppose the question itself is already obvious. Now, I would like to mention the reason on why my team has won this motion. My team has successfully delivered our arguments, which are mostly said by our first speaker and is strengthened by me, the previous second speaker, on the argument regarding the future impact on students and regarding the positive feedback and the mentality of students. Now, to further prove our one, the proposition team haven't asked or given any theory or instruction to the purpose which further prove our arguments and prove the validness of our case. Now, not only that, the examples have been given by our church speaker Mandala to even a real life case on why our side opposed against this case. And because of that, the solution on our side is constructive criticism, which is the solution to our side. And because of that, after all this, the argument that we've given and all the examples and case we've given to you, which is the reason on why we are here and proud to present as the opposition team on this motion. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much for the reply. This was also the basis from the government. Affirmative reply. Thank you.
First of all, good afternoon everyone, good afternoon to the honorable judges and the audience, and of course good afternoon too to my here opposing teams, and good afternoon too to my team. So first of all, we want to conclude that our team has successfully delivered our points on this motion, and that the motion being the education system should offer inflate children's academic self-perception. Of course. So, okay, we agree, and we restate again, we agree because we believe that students don't all share the same traits and skills, of course, and they are to be good in so many different things. And of course, with already the points given before, with the positive feedback, learnings could be more fun and then could be more entertaining, of course, just to keep them intact so that they could still want to study. And then, of course, positive feedback doesn't always mean always praising them or always correct in everything. Positive feedback also doesn't mean tolerating bad behaviors, but instead accepting that all students have their own traits when it comes to learning. So what that means is we could acknowledge when a student is doing something bad, but instead of scolding them, we could try to tell them in a positive way. That's what positive feedback means. It doesn't mean when some students wrong, you could say that they're right. No, it doesn't know what that means. And then, if we raise our voice, of course, at our students, one that it would just create where a student doesn't care anymore about their learning process, but instead they care more about their output on the grades, of course. They would do it. They would do in so many ways, include getting the good grades. And anyway, of course, to avoid the scolding rather than learning the